everybody. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. I am going to show you today how to go about doing another watercolor and doodle page. And this is on a 9x12 piece of Aressa watercolor paper cold press, 140 pound. And the brush I'm going to start off with is a Princeton brush. This is a number 20 round. And then later on, you may find me doing some additional work with this number 8 silver black velvet brush. And then I'll be doing some lining work with the Faber Castell. And this is a small, I might actually end up doing one with a fine line too. And it's possible I might use this, I'm not 100% sure. I just kind of go with the flow, so I'm not really sure, but this is a Uniball in white. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, because this will be a multicolored surface, I'm going to go ahead and take my big round brush, and I'm just going to put water, lay water out all over the page in an attempt to get some good coverage. And then I'll start laying in the different colors that I want to use. Alright, so let's go to the sheet here. I think I'm going to hit it with some of this, which is more like a yellow ochre to me. You might see a little bit differently on your screen, but that's what it reminds me of. Now when I do this, I kind of like to add color so that it's, maybe there's a few different spots with the similar or same color scheme, and then add in as I go. Just kind of move it around. You can actually have it going in different directions. Not everything has to go in the same direction. If you want, you could actually tape off the edges to give it a crisp edge, but I'm just doing this for the purpose of video, so it doesn't really matter to me at this point, at least. And then I think I'm going to go in here and pull in some of this orange. And I apologize, I am using the Winsor Newton watercolors. I don't have a list of the paint names, but you can use whatever color you choose to. I kind of inherited this set from my mom, and I really am not sure what the colors are. Alright, so I'm going to go a different direction here and put in some blue. In this type of a piece, you just kind of are laying the colors in and seeing what you end up with. That's why what I was saying is I'm not sure what I'm going to end up with, so I'm not sure if I'll be using the white Uniball or what I'll end up using. So I think that's kind of a fun project though, when you're not really sure what the outcome is going to be. That's one reason I like doodling so much, because it really is something that you can just be as creative as you want to be or choose to be, and you don't know what you're going to end up with. It's a surprise. So when somebody says surprise, you're like, oh yes, that's exactly what it is. It's a surprise. Just don't be afraid to try, because I'm new at doing watercolor, so please keep that in mind. I am a newbie on this, so sorry for that noise. We have a dog that gets in the trash can, so we have to try to put something on top of it to keep her out. That doesn't always work. So there you have it. It's a good old blue healer mix. Love her to death, but she does get into a lot of stuff. Kind of almost reminds me of a sunset, sunrise, in whatever direction you want it to be. going in. I'm just going to go through here. Just add some more of this blue in. As I do, ever try to paint like this? Do you doodle on watercolor at all? If you do, let me know down below. If you would, I'd appreciate it. Maybe even give me some ideas of what kind of projects you've done this way. Alright, I'm going to probably stop messing with it too much here. Don't want to overwork it either. Alright. So my next step is going to be to hit it with a hairdryer. And that is what I will be doing. Alright, so I went ahead and hit it with actually a heat gun, not a hairdryer. And I think at this point I'm going to go ahead and throw in one of my trusty old favorites that I seem to have in a lot of my pictures or paintings that I do. And that is just, it's more of a purplish type paint color. I'm going to be re-wetting it. Now I'm using the number 8. The number 8 brush. Now you could just leave it alone. Leave it how I had it. But I really like this color, so I thought, you know, I'm going to drag that in here. Get that involved here somehow. Like I said, you can do it in different directions too. It doesn't all have to be going the same direction. And I'm throwing it on and then softening a little bit by just adding some water into my paintbrush. And some of it's very slight and some of it's very dark. I think it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And if you're a newbie to watercolor too, just like I am, is there a certain type of watercolor that you're interested in the most? Like I like to do flowers and doodling. You know, are you into abstract, you know, definite shapes, more traditional lines, loose watercolor? You know, what are your interests in it? Alright, so on this I will be hitting it again with my heat gun. Again, sorry that I said hairdryer because that isn't so. This kind of now reminds me of the Grand Canyon. Isn't that funny how you can look at stuff and it reminds you of something? And I've never actually been to the Grand Canyon, just seen pictures. Flew over it. So I've seen it that way, but not actually in person per se on the ground. Alright, I will be back. Alright, so here we are. The piece is pretty much dry, and I'm going to go ahead and start drawing on it. I was just trying to give it some thought as to what I see in this. Up here I kind of see one of these really big flowers. I'm just going to go like this for right now. And then it has some really big petals. Now keep in mind that when you're doing this, you don't have to actually fall totally within the shape that you're looking at, or you can actually fall within it, you can fall outside of it, or you can, you know, just stay right along it. It just really depends on what you're interested in and how you're creating it. Now this one is just going to be just these simple lines, kind of like I did in my last one. Just very easy. All your petals don't have to be the same size. And I'm going to go up here, and just keep in mind too that you can turn your paper as you're working. I tend to have a way with me forgetting that I can actually turn it. So some of the drawing and design work would be a lot easier. And the lines do not actually have to be completely straight. I like to make them a little wavy so there's more of a natural, just a natural flow, and not something that's, you know, measured and a ruler is used or a straight edge of some sort, so that it is more natural. And I have to watch when I'm doing this because I am a lefty, and lefties have a tendency to smear their work because their hand runs across it. Now this is very relaxing, and if you're looking for something that's kind of like meditating, really, doing the drawing is very relaxing. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the thing, is there's really no wrong or right way to do it. Come up with your own designs, use other designs that you see. I mean, because when you look at the world around us, don't you realize that there's so many patterns around us? I mean, there's so many patterns. It's just ridiculous. And I'm putting my arm into my water paint, so that's good. I have that all over the place next. So nobody's going to ever get on me for being the neatest painter or crafter, artist person they've ever met, because that isn't going to happen. And I'm well aware of that. Alright, just keep turning this bad boy and keep working on it. And when you're doing something like this, you don't have to fill in the whole page. If you want to, that's awesome, but just remember you don't have to do that. You can just put a few little designs doodled on here and call it a day. You know, make it as full or as minimalistic as you want it. It's fine. It's your work. And that too, there are no wrong or right ways to look at that. And when you're creating art, you just got to make what's coming from your heart. And like I said, that's one reason I like this kind of art, is because it is, and you just don't know what you're going to end up with. And that's perfectly okay. And just like anything I create, no two are going to be alike. I can guarantee you that. There's one thing in life I can guarantee you with my work, no two will be identical. They might be similar, but not identical. Okay, so on this one I'm just going to go back in, kind of put a little bit more darkness in here. You can actually fill these in a little bit if you want, like that. And there you go. Alright, so have one. Now, do I want to put another one that's similar to this? And you can clean up edges. If you have a thicker marker and you want to clean them up, that's fine. Or just leave them be. That's fine too. If you want to do different flowers, you can. Now, like this one, I can see this being a center. And then I can just kind of build on it. And then I can build. I don't have to have two flowers next to each other alike. And I can just keep going and going. And then I can draw along here, draw along here, draw along here. And we can do this side if I want. I can do this side if I want. If I want to just go back and forth and make a design in it, that's perfectly fine. Like I said, with me, I'm just not real precise. And if I'm doing this just for my mental health, then more power to me. Do that. Maybe draw in some other designs. I kind of like doing these little things. Could even just do a couple little like that. Let's see here. See what else we have coming out of here. I want to do some of this type of flower. And then have this one. It's just kind of a wavy little petal. Nothing real crazy. And it's going to be a 4-petal flower. It doesn't actually have to be anything that's real. Again, these can be made up. And most of the time they are. Or they can actually be representing a style of flower. It just really is up to you. And again, I'm not particular about stuff, so however you want to do it, go for it. Again, if you don't want it to be this detailed or this many flowers, then don't do it. Don't make it that detailed. Alright, I'm going to put some more in here. Kind of like it's going up there, and they're going behind. And they're going behind. And that's going behind. And just lightly, little pressure on the brush, or not the brush, but the pen. And then just putting those little lines in. Now when you get into little parts like this, you can put little circles in it. I was trying to see over here. I think there's just might be a little spot here. Little spots like right in here. Now I like to just come off with it as if just kind of randomly. And again, I don't like anything to be so precise, perfect, and you can see that in my work. It could be a little filled in dots, it can be like that. And there you've got just like a little bit of a bundle there. Now I could do more, I could leave this open. I'm trying to look here and see where we're at with this. You know, I could just draw a big stem down it. Come back up here and connect it. Look like maybe a big stem coming this direction. And then on these I can have them coming this way, that way, and then maybe another one coming like this. Okay, so you can do the stems if you want, or you can just, you know, leave that be. But if you do the stems, then you can always come in and put some cute little leaves in them. Now on these, because this is kind of the line drawing flower, I'm going to do a leaf like this. I'm coming across. If you want to go back through and make the lines a little closer, again, we're not striving for perfection. It is a design. It's supposed to be loose. Now you can draw another line back through it here, leave it like that, and I can come back in. I like to do my leaves very similar, you know, on the actual, you know, each plant. Have them maybe, or I don't want to say specific to that plant because it's not really a real plant per se, but each one be a little bit different if I'm going to draw different leaves. And I can keep coming down. In these little tangled places in here, I can actually do maybe a design of some sort. Because that's one way you do some of these designs, is you just take a pen, pencil, scribble on a piece of paper, and then fill in the insides of the scribbles with different designs. It's an awesome way to practice. Like this pen isn't really all that big as far as the ink part goes. So it can be a little challenging. Go like that. If I need to clean it up, I can. And then just do another one that has push that up a little bit. Okay. And then it looks like there's another one right here I could do. Now I'm just going to go different directions with this. Now this part, like I said, you don't have to do it this way. It just reminded me of how I used to start off doing them. As I say, just come up with different designs as you're going. Don't have to be alike. You don't have to fill these spaces in. this one I am going to do leaves like this, leaves like that. And I can just put a little, just run a little line through the center. If I want to make it a double line, I can do that. Just kind of fill it in as you go. And hopefully you get the gist of it. Okay. And let me see here. I mean, I could keep going on here, and I probably will not. I might want to add another, maybe something up here as far as the leaf goes. Make it a fairly big one. And we can even do this kind of a leaf where you put this shape in like that, and you keep just pulling it in. And you go like that. Of course, because part of it's going to be behind, that's why you're not seeing all of it. And just keep going with it. Now, if you have a bigger marker, you can come in and clean all this up, meaning that you can darken all these edges in here. With my little marker, it'll take a while to do that, so I probably won't do that for this video. Now I'll just keep doing it here until it's filled in, and then I'm just going to put little lines that go up like that through it. Yeah, a little bit thicker marker will actually do wonders as far as filling in and maybe even adding a little bit of detail. I mean, the little markers are actually great for, you know, little details, but then there are times when you need a bigger one just to fill things in and make them seem complete. Alright, and you can do 2 of these, or you can do just one. You can also do little lines that come out, and these can just have circles at the end. You can have an arrow on the end or a leaf on the end. I'll make this look more like a arrow. So it's up to you once again. I know I say that a lot, but I'm just not real strict about stuff. Alright, so I think for the purpose of this video, I don't want it to be 12 hours long. I'm going to go ahead and call it a time here, or a day. I could go ahead and fill this in here too, but I think you get the gist of it. You know, when you see stuff, you can just go in, add to it. I could have made this look like mountains or add some other flowers to it, but I think it's pretty just the way it is. Again, if I wanted to, I could add more detail, but I'm not going to. Alright, I hope you like this video. If you do, give me a big thumbs up. If you're new, please subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. And then at the end of the video, if you would, hit that share button that's underneath the video and share that on your social media with your friends and family. I would appreciate it. And until the next time, you have a good one.